day 3. And it is competition day. Top 32 is today. And didn't really make any changes to the car. Although we sat down and talked last night around the fire. Kind of had a, there's a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's just like an old Lincoln with a Rolls Royce badge. And we talked about it, and we're thinking that we're thinking that basically if we just lower tire pressure, we shouldn't need to dial any more grip beyond that, because we were using the Accelera 100 treadwear with the Acceleras with like 25 psi, so we've got plenty of room to go down to gain more grip. Instead of trying to change toe and mess with any mechanical grip, we're just going to mess with tire pressure, and it should be plenty for what we need. And we're going to the driver's meeting. I still don't know who the judges are. I'm trying to figure that out, because there was some whack scoring going on yesterday.
Very whack scoring. Like they were drunk.
So we'll see. It'll be a good day. Who's the third judge that I don't know?
Yeah.
What is it supposed to be?
I don't know either.
Are you kidding me?
No, I met him, and he was.
Oh, you don't know him.
He was sitting next to me the whole time.
Oh, gotcha.
I legit.
Gotcha.
I heard he judges these events regularly.
Oh, okay.
He spoke like 3 words yesterday.
And that's it.
And that was it.
All right, let's go. Practice laps, and the car's feeling really good. I finally feel like I've got it figured out. I'm driving like as good as I can, and I mean, it's top 32 practice, so practicing with the drivers that are going to be towards the top. And yeah, definitely competitive. Definitely, like, the car's set up. We're dialing in more grip, and I'm hitting the zones better. I'm driving better. I'm just like level 10.
Not yours, but
one of them's not yours.
But you got one now.
Cool. I can weld that back together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Immediately on initiation.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you threw a tire. I thought you beat it.
I thought I broke an axle. It felt, and then and then the car started
'Cause
rotating, and
as
I
soon as
couldn't.
you initiated, you went left, and the wheel went right, and it's like immediately I knew you're going.
Insult to injuries. I watched the tire come and then hit the front bumper, and I'm just like, immediately knew what happened.
What do you do at that point?
Yeah. Like, I guess, guys, we need a tow truck. So I was coming down. We put on Volinos, super grippy. I warmed them up, came down the straight, super grippy. I went to initiate, and then all 5 studs sheared off. And we had checked the lug nuts. Josh even said double check. Yeah, lug nuts 100% were tight, and they sheared off. Interesting thing is, I heard some noises in the previous laps, and we were trying to figure it out. Didn't cross my mind. Maybe, right? I wonder if they were. I don't know. Maybe they were already weak or loose, or the wheel was moving. I don't know. But either way, we got major damage. We have about an hour before comp starts. I really don't think this is gonna happen. I think we got bent arms that we can't fix. Hold on. It's not gonna turn, is it?
No,
all right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, no, I got you. I thought I could turn it, but. So we've got maybe no damage there. We definitely have a bent arm back here. Yeah, we got a couple bent arms back here.
Yeah, you're good.
Broken wheel. Luckily, that's my wheel that broke. and then a bent front wheel. So that's bad news. Guess we got some wheel pieces here.
Do me a favor. Well, towards me. Turn this way. You can. Yeah. Let me pull. Get back to me.
All right, so the parts we need are basically wheel studs for sure. We found an extra knuckle. Rudy's knocking those out of there for us, and we are trying to figure out what we're gonna do about the front suspension, the front heim joint. We might need to weld it. We've got about 30 minutes to an hour before practice is over, and then we're the 6th battle. So we've got a little bit of time, but we gotta make it happen quick.
All hands on deck. But right here, Swiss, you need to fix that. What do we need to do? Give me. Oh, hey, we got front. We got back up front. Everything in the rear is good besides that. It's got a slight bend in it. You gotta hold.
Where's the welder? Is it still at the trailer?
Yeah.
At your trailer?
Yeah. We need a bolt like that.
If you have a silver Hyundai Santa Fe, Indiana license plate 75.
All right, so there is basically aside from all the other damage we found, the front subframe broke. So like the lower mount, the pocket where the heim joint sits, it pushed that in on the subframe and separated it. So now it's separating the steering rack from traveling all the way, and it's also it's just not going to work. So we have to somehow pry it back straight and then weld it. So Bobby and I are running up right now with the golf cart to grab the welder and the generator to get that down here so we can get that sorted out. It looks like the rear end's going to work. They're getting the studs swapped out. Luckily we got enough people here. Everybody's got something going on. It looks like we'll probably have time to get it all figured out. The only major problem I see right now is that lower subframe mount being a problem. Being able to pry it and get it welded back together. So the generator and the welder's up here. We gotta go grab it. Hopefully everything works to get that. Oh, it's outside even. Cool. Try to get straight. So that's the part of the subframe that broke right there. That's the damage. That's gonna be really hard to bend back into place.
Somebody count the threads on the other side of that arm. Hey, this is Drift HQ, so we'll just make sure we bring it back.
It's gonna get run.
What is it? Yeah. We gotta hit it with the torch. We're gonna have to hit it with the torch and pull it back this way, all right? And while we're doing that, everybody has to hold the car this way.
That's bad news. Like a Honda burnout? Yeah. You guys know. What do we need?
13 or 12. It looked like all the.
Oh, they all shifted. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's where the camber's at. And there's only one bit like bolt. It looks like right here on the.
That's it.
Whatever it is.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For Figs. Good job, Figs. Yeah, everything looks pretty well intact. All right, we'll shift this back out, loosen these up, pull that back out, get the camber set back to where it goes. So we're not able to get it to move. We had everybody holding the car, tugging on it, and it's not moving. Torch.
Somebody run the ratchet strap.
Okay.
Bobby, pull this way. I'll put some weight on it. Try jumping on that.
Yeah, probably.
First battle's up.
Well, What did it do? Did it move? I saw it twist. I
Started to twist a little bit. Do we just hook the gas ball cord up to it? Keep going, one more. More. Is it moving?
It moved a little bit the first time.
Give me a little more gas. Nice go. Somebody broke in the burnout box too.
Oh, good. Keep braking, people.
Yeah. Damn it.
Get us a water bottle so I can throw it on it. Cool. I think there we go. I want to cool it down fast.
I need a piece of metal to stick to it. If I can just get a piece of metal, I can
There's no metal. Just fill it. Whatever you got to do. We're not going to make it. Just
Hold
do
this.
it.
I'll dig for something here. Hold the bottom of it.
Yep.
Stop stepping on my wire!
Is that my good extension, Rudy? Those are my expensive ones.
That is?
Yeah, I think so.
Don't worry about it, I got it, Rudy. Just move.
We might have a problem still of the tie rod hitting the end of that bolt.
Cut it off. And after I'm done, you can
I convinced the judge with Derek to let Derek change the tire for permit. Derek said to take the time to change the tire. You got it level 4 times. So Derek Madison was before us. Might not work. Someone turn the steering wheel.
turn the steering wheel.
We got a little bit more time. We still got James trying to get his shit fixed. Derek changed the tires. It's not gonna work. Sitting right there. I can't think of any solution here.
Put the grind on it more. Put it in.
I mean, look how bad we're hitting. It's like one thing I can think of is if we loosen those and put some washers behind to let the rack come out. But then the rack will be loose. I don't know. It might bind and I might crash again. It's not worth the risk.
It's not going to go. This is not, I mean, you couldn't get it to go. No matter what. I mean, I don't know.
I don't see a solution there. No, we're going to tug it again.
Hey, whoa, Dave.
Someone hold the brake. Put the car down. Put it on the ground. Someone hold the handbrake. Hold the handbrake.
Back up.
Watch out, Josh. Hold that brake.
Hey, hold the car. Everybody hold the car. We can still call a competition timeout.
do it a little harder, but drag it on the ground. I don't think it's hurting anything.
Okay, do it again.
It's not hurting nothing, right?
Okay, one more time.
Hey, hold it! Hold the bar! No, that's okay! Hold the bar!
So we didn't make it in time. We missed it by like maybe 3 or 4 minutes. We called our 5. We almost had it done, but we didn't make it. This is exactly what happened at Clutch Kickers. Crash, called our 5 minutes, and couldn't get it done in time. So the team did awesome. Like, there's nobody to put the blame on. We just worked as hard as we could, and it wasn't enough. So close. We had to cut the subframe apart, weld the thing back on, and we weren't able to get the bolts in. We had everything done except the left front. In fact, it's only been like 2 or 3 minutes since our 5 minutes was up, and the car's almost back together. Really, really, really disappointed. Really disappointed.
Yo, this looks depressing as hell.
It is supposed to be depressing. All right, so it's the end of the day, and just kind of like had some time to reflect. We sat down and watched the end of the event. It was pretty wild, and very interesting how things turned out. But our top 32 battle that we weren't able to do, he went on to win 2nd place, so that was very impressive. Shout out to Human, very, very well done, good driving. But we were just sitting here reflecting on kind of what happened and how things went down. It was like a wild series of events. So the long and the short, I think where we stopped kind of filming was practice was amazing. I felt like I was dialed. I was driving a way better line than I've been driving yesterday. I finally had things figured out. We put grip in the car. Everything was looking like really, really good. And then we parked it and said, let's just, actually I heard a little bit of a noise, and I was like, I don't know what that noise is, but let's not push it. I don't want the axle to break. I don't want anything to go wrong at the end of practice. If something's gonna fail, let's let it fail, or let's give it as much possibility to not fail in the short amount of time we had. So I was like, let's park the car. There's still an hour left to practice. Then I got a wild hair to run the Valinos that we had sitting inside. We've been running Accelera. They're the Accelera Extra 100 treadwear 285s, and they were grippy, but I wanted to see if we could get more grip. So I had these Valinos, only 1 pair of them. They were like almost full tread. So I was like, let's put those on and do 1 lap, just so I'm not blindsided by like a ridiculous amount of grip or less grip or whatever it was. I wanted it to be consistent and know what I was getting into in case we were to use those tires. So like, let's use practice to do that. 1 more lap, it won't hurt anything. So that's always a bad idea. Every time something bad happens, it's usually like the 1 more time. Let's just do 1 more lap. Let's do a little bit more. And that's what happened. I go out there, I warm up the tires. Immediately in the burnout box, I'm like understeering. I could feel there was a ton of grip in those tires. So I go to the line. I think there was nobody else, right? It was just me. Nobody was on track. Everybody had bailed on, and I was like, all right, I'll do a solo run. Perfect. So I run up. I do 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I didn't hear anything or nothing happened. As soon as I hit 3rd gear and let the clutch out, it sounded like I snapped an axle. In the car, I just hear just like an axle snap. And the car was shaking so violently, I didn't know what was going on. Next thing I know, the car starts rotating, and I'm going backwards. And then I realized, oh crap, something's majorly wrong. I'm hitting the brakes and I'm sliding backwards towards the wall, and I hit the wall. I was like, crap, I hit the wall with the back and then the front. So the whole side of the car got hit, and I knew it was hard enough that there was damage. And I'm looking at the windshield back towards the starting line, and there comes my wheel rolling towards the car and then hits the front of the car. And then at that point I was like, the wheel came off. This is really bad. So obviously the first thing that comes out of, or the first thing off in my head is like, we need to get the car back to the pits and try and get it fixed, right? So I jump out of the car and start to assess the damage. And then Mike's running towards me,
Yep.
right? He comes running towards me because they had seen me go out and they were watching like, okay, cool, let's see what these tires do. So he comes running, we were probably like less than 100 yards.
Yeah, not even that.
Where I crashed was 100 yards. He jumped over the fence, right? And just come running out there.
Ran right over.
And the first thing I said is, go grab a camera, because I wanted to document what was happening, because I knew it was kind of like a big thing that was happening, and I like to get the raw nitty gritty footage of when things are going wrong. So anyways, we got the tow truck, got it up on there. What do you guys, what happened when you guys were watching?
Just getting that thing loaded up was a fun time, and then getting it off was just as much of a hurdle, trying to sit there with the
Oh, we were gone for that. So it went on the tow truck and I left. So what happened after that?
So we literally had to get it off the tow truck, and then we had We had a jack on the
Jacks
front.
Bent the first one.
Yeah, bent first one bent.
Getting it off of.
Yeah,
The jack bent. I got it up underneath the diff. I got the jack underneath the diff, and we were getting ready to pull it, and the car was like crooked on the trailer, so
So it
as we
kinda
were
slid
pulling
off
it
at
this
an
way,
angle?
the jack started to twist. And if you look at your jack, it's twisted.
It was
so we
already
had to
twisted.
get like 2 other jacks
To get it
underneath, just to get it off, and we had to like strategically place
Wow.
them. And yeah, it
Wow.
was.
We had everybody
not-
on there. We had
Wow.
Miles was in there. Dustin Miles,
So-
whole crew.
Did you guys see when I crashed? Like you
Yeah.
guys were all watching, you saw what happened right away.
Yeah.
What did you know the wheel came off right away or
I
not?
just saw you fucking over rotate.
I thought it was an over rotation. They just made a weird noise, and then the car literally spun
his camera.
backwards.
Oh, that's true. Fuck.
It made no sense.
Yeah, Kyle got the
Yeah.
8-second clip of the.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I'm just zoned in.
Yep.
Just watched it. But no, everybody I've talked to
wild.
said they just saw a bunch of hop in the back, and then all of a sudden, wheel came off, and I thought the car was 100 times worse than what it was.
True.
I mean,
True.
that was your fastest entry you've had the
Dude,
entire
those
weekend.
tires were like, and I didn't even make it to 4th gear.
No,
Those
it was
tires
crazy.
were hooked. Those were hooked. I don't know if I could. Honestly, I don't know if I could have done the bank. It may have been so much grip.
Well, I mean, what we were at
I
on
think
those
you
10
could've.
psi or
8 or 10.
Well,
I think
so
we're 13.
so what I was thinking is reflecting on it. I was like, if we would have waited one more lap, if it would have broken on the lap where we were leading Human, which would have been I would be leading first. If it would have failed at that point,
It would have been so.
he would have had no choice. It would have totaled his car and Trenton's car, both. It would have got T-boned, and it would have been more than just me hitting the wall. So, yeah. So in that aspect, it's a good thing that it happened when it did. It's just so wheel studs, right? 5 wheel studs sheared all at once. Why does that happen? Usually that happens from the fatigue of the metal getting stretched, right? You don't think of wheel studs as something that needs to be replaced very often, but in a drift car, when you're taking wheels on and off so frequently, I think it's just one of those things that probably needs to be, and there's so much rotational load on them all the time. There was also the wheel spacer got broken, right?
It snapped in half
shattered.
somehow.
It's a slip-on, like an AutoZone style wheel spacer, and I've run them with no problem, right? But this one, there, let's do it like that. This wheel spacer was in pieces when it came off. So, like, it's not likely that it broke as the wheel's coming off. It was just likely that maybe it was already cracked or something was wrong with it beforehand. And so that may have caused, if the wheel spacer somehow cracked, caused the lug nuts to come loose a little bit. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But also going back, what I was saying is I heard a noise on the second to last lap. So I don't know if there was a little bit going on in there, if the wheel spacer was making noise. I don't know exactly what was going on. But we have this undetermined noise, and then it fails right after that. It's likely that it had something to do one thing with the other. Thing is, though, the lug nuts weren't loose. Anyway, we could go on and on about speculating
As
what
crazy
actually
as
happened.
It is, that run, we did the wheels, and
Yep.
then I forget who yelled at
Someone,
me.
so
You
check,
yelled at me.
check,
and you go,
check torque, check
yeah,
torque.
Check them twice. Ran over, checked both wheels, tightened both down. Perfect.
There's absolutely no way that those wheels were loose when I left the line. No chance. So it had to be stressed on the studs. That extra grip. I don't know if they would have broke if we had the accelerators. Either way, it doesn't matter. That's what happened. The car got damaged. So what happened after that? They get it off the trailer, right?
Yep.
Put it up in the air. I went to go grab some parts because we knew at least that the tie rod was bent and a Heim joint. So I come back to the trailer to start looking for parts. Those guys are getting it up in the air. And I think we had kind of made an assessment at that point by the time I got back that it was fixable.
Yep.
And we kind of calculated we had what, like maybe 45 minutes or so?
Yeah.
45.
And so everyone grabbed a different corner of the car and it's like, well, let's do this. So the left rear, there was some stuff bent in there. The left front was the worst. The right rear, what was wrong with the right rear? Why would you take that apart?
Oh yeah, the studs.
Oh, that's where the studs broke. That's right. So nothing was broken on the stud side other than the studs. So they had to take the brakes and everything, which that's I did that the other day. It was a lot of work to take the brake caliper bracket off, and there's dual calipers and all that stuff just to get to the studs.
And when they were doing that, I ran and got a Heim joint from
From FDF.
Josiah.
So shout out to Josiah.
Yeah.
Thank you for hooking it up with a Heim joint. It worked out.
Everybody threw in. I mean, we went over.
And
I
they
grabbed
busted
tools
off the
from
front.
Drift HQ. Gave us tools.
Oh,
Dayton
that's right.
One gave us
That's right.
tools. They gave us.
And then you
tow
guys are
straps.
saying other guys in the pits running over to help out,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
With
yeah,
tools
Miles
and
was under
giving a
the car.
hand.
We had
and-
Dustin Miles.
Dustin Miles right before his battle was under the
Koolman
car.
was there for a while with us. Nathan St. John with Dustin Miles. Then we also had Derek. Madison was there too.
You guys were off
Keep up
getting the
his
welder
crew.
and everything. Shout out to Ian and Ryan from Riverside Drift.
Oh, for the welder?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank
Yeah,
you guys.
that
So
was
that
a lifesaver.
so that was a big deal. So we found all the parts. We got all this stuff, and I hadn't noticed until we were probably halfway through the job. The front lower subframe mount where
Little gear.
the lower control arm bolts to on the subframe was moved and shifted to the point where the steering rack, the tie rod end was hit, the inner tie rod was hitting it. It wouldn't travel past it. Because I would have just put it back on and run it or welded it in place, but the tie rod would not travel past it. So that became our biggest hurdle. Everything else started to kind of come together and work out.
All that stuff was done. Everything else in what, 15 minutes? We had basically you had the rear adjusted. Yeah. The studs were done not too long after we got everything.
And so that's about the time that we decided to tug that, try and pull it with a truck to get it to come straight. Long story short, that footage is all in this video. Mm-hmm. But long story short, that didn't work. Right, we did a bunch of tugs, didn't end up doing it.
Yanked it with a big SUV.
And I was watching it; it would not move, not even close to moving. And I thought this isn't going to work, so we decided just to cut it in a V basically, and then put the bolt through it, and then weld it in place. Wherever it ended up, at least it wasn't trying to bend metal that wasn't bending. Got that done. Josh welded it up, worked out great. Put the bolt back through it, and then realized that the tie rod, as it traveled, was still going to hit it. The way that it was all bent, it was still not going to work. So Rudy and I, at the last second. We were running out of time, and we had to call our 5-minute.
Yep.
Right? Oh, tell them what happened.
Oh yeah, so we're running up to 5 minute. First off, Dan had a mess up, and then talking to Derek walks up and goes, "Hey, can I change my main tires to my?"
This
scrubs?
Is before we called 5 minutes, trying to get extra time.
Just trying to buy anything, and he's like, "Can I change my main to scrubs?" And I was standing up there with him, and
because he was up to battle, right?
He was about to battle, and he got a buy run.
Oh.
So he's gonna do his buy run, and he's like, "I don't want to burn freshies," and I'm up there like, "Yeah, let him do it, let him change them, everything." Walk over to him, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, like, as long as you can take, like, just take as long as you
clock
can."
for us.
Yeah, and he did. He took a good amount of time, which bought us a bunch of time
That's
there.
Awesome.
And right to the freaking wire.
That's awesome.
Right at the wire with the 5 minute.
Yep. And so we called the 5 minute and started doing it. We were welding, cutting, doing all that stuff for the last second. And then
by the time you guys brought most of the parts back and the tools, we already had the front end busted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed at how well everybody came together. For us, having never worked together, besides me and Josh, like, everything came together. Everybody knew what to do. Yeah, everything worked. And like, big shout out to these guys for helping me out. It was amazing. If it was just me and Josh by ourselves, it would have been like.
And it was me and you by ourselves the first day while we were trying to get.
Yeah, those small problems though.
Small problems, yeah, not checks things.
I just don't know how we got the squad. We went from like us, this group we have here, to where we're doing the job, and I think we had like 15 people.
Yeah.
Underneath the car, going.
I can't discount that. Bobby and Rudy, since Rudy got knocked out yesterday, he said he would help out today, and he was in there grinding with the rest of us, and it came together. I think our pit crew doubled as soon as something happened.
Dude, it literally
Everybody comes over and is like, "What can I do?" And we just start.
And that's what I love about drifting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the best part of drifting.
Grassroots, especially.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Everybody who was, even drivers who were still in the event. Dustin Miles literally is about to run.
Right,
and
he's
2
over
minutes
there
before his
helping
run,
us.
he's over here helping us wrench things.
Yep.
Getting dirty.
And one thing I forgot, I don't think I filmed this part, but what Rudy and I did, because the steering rack was going to hit the lower control arm bolt, we ended up taking off the steering rack bolts, putting a wrench behind the steering rack to basically space it away from the away from that. So the rack's, instead of being straight in there, it's like offset. So anyways, we put a wrench behind there and tried to tighten it, and it was going to work. We had everything back together, and then we ran out of time. We ran out of time with maybe, 5 bolts left?
Well, basically we had to do tie rod and put the wheels on?
And then we kept, exactly. They called it, and we kept working on it, and maybe 5 more minutes. But we kind of slowed our pace. I'll bet in 3 minutes we could have had it.
Oh yeah, we
were probably 3 minutes away from having the wheel on the ground.
Yeah, about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Someone just needed to wait
it's a
for
bummer.
one more time.
Bummer. Yeah, we just need someone to oil down the track or like crash into the wall or something.
Oof, don't say that.
But yeah. But I mean, maybe I'll do a damage report later, but I'm still kind of upset about the whole thing. You know, it's the worst situation when I crash the car from a mechanical failure, right? Because I like to be able to blame. If it's my fault, it's my fault. I can take that, kick myself in the butt and say, hey, you suck, right? But I can't do that because it wasn't really my fault driving wise. I was starting to get it dialed, everything was going good. So of course I'm upset that I lost the battle, but more upsetting is that Trenton has to drive that car in Pro Spec. He was kind enough to let me borrow it, and now it needs to be ready in like 3 days. So that's a lot of work to do. But that's for another video. I'll be filming the rest of this week. But big shout out to these guys. Thank you guys so much for coming down.
Anytime, dude.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad the weekend worked out, even though it's depressing because I think we could have done a lot better.
Hey, at the end of the day, we got to help Human get to the top 2. All of us band together there. Cooling the car off, changing his wheels.
I missed filming all that stuff, but Human,
I got it all.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got
awesome.
it all.
Yeah.
He kept going and going and going, and we were helping him pour water on it, and he was killing it. He was doing really well.
Brandon's team became Human's team.
Hey man, that we trade off, right?
Well,
when they need
Rudy's
help,
team became Brandon's team, which then became Human's team.
That's how you end up with 15
multiply.
people on your
That's
crew.
how, yeah, that's
Hey,
how it
we
works.
don't divide, we multiply.
We multiply. All right, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching Riverside Drift. It was an awesome event. They actually paid out cash. I didn't film that part, but they took cash
I did.
and put it in people's hands. There's no check. There's no 1099. They put cash in their hands. Awesome event.
Hold on, I'll show you the cash. Yeah,
You got some?
I got some cash.
Oh, you got the okay, the money gun cash.
Oh, we're making it rain right now because we kind of need that.
And so shout out to Riverside Drift. They ran a great event, and I'll probably be coming back again in the future. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along. We might be doing a little merch thing coming up. Kyle's kind of got an idea going in my head about possibly funding my future build based on what happened, but we'll talk about that in another video. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.
Team touch and go. Make sure 1, 2, all the line. Ain't gonna change position. Out there, back in the throttle.